So, Fae Wars, Northwest Front. It is set in the Fae Wars universe from Canon Publishing. And I met J.F. Holmes at LibertyCon a couple years ago. It's held every year in June in Chattanooga, Tennessee. And I attended as a fan. I had a couple short stories published, but I wasn't ready to consider myself a pro yet. And I'd never been to a convention. And so I thought my first experience at a convention, I'm just going to go as a fan. I'm going to go support all these people who've been so supportive of me and see what it's about and, and just have fun and enjoy myself. And so my husband and I were walking through the dealer room, and my husband had actually beta read for Holmes years ago. And so they started to talk, and I actually had an author badge, even though I wasn't on the schedule. And so Holmes looked at my author badge and he's like, "Oh, what do you write?" And I said, funny thing, I actually submitted a story to your High Caliber Awards the previous year. And my story didn't make the cut, but he remembered my story and he liked it. And he's like, "You know what? I could really use another Fae Wars book." And I went, "What's Fae Wars?" I hadn't read it. And so he hands me the first book and he's like, "Here, read this. And if you like it, send me a story." I was like, "Okay, sure. Why not?" And so I said, "Well, tell you what, I'll read the book and I'll consider it, but only if you sign it for me." And so he signed it. And of course, I take it back and I read it. And he says, "Charli, where's my book?" It's like, dude, you just asked me for it. And so his Fae Wars book is set in New York because that's where he's from. And the other authors who are in the shared universe, they've all written in their area. And so with me being the first one in the Pacific Northwest, I live in Oregon, I thought, well, let's set my story here where I live. And when you think of the Pacific Northwest and you think of the Fae and you think of mythical creatures, what's the first thing that you think of for most people? It's a Bigfoot. And so they don't like being called Bigfoot. Bigfoot's offensive. How would you like it if they called you Tiny Dick? So he's not a Bigfoot. Gunny is a Sasquatch. And he befriends Ashley Green, who's a teenage girl whose life has been completely turned upside down. She ends up going out in the woods to try to get food because with the elven occupation, they can't just run to the grocery store. There's, food shortages and they have to stand in bread lines. And her dad is just like, "We're not doing any of that." Well, the freezer's empty. She goes out in the woods. She ends up getting caught by an elven lordling and everything changes for her forever from there. And so that's my story, Fae Wars, Northwest Front, set here in Oregon and Washington.
That's awesome. I was really trying not to look up why there was a Sasquatch on that one. And it was so hard because for so long, and in my retirement, maybe I'll still do. I want to be a cryptozoologist, and my brother and I absolutely love,
Sweet.
yeah, all the mythology and stuff like that. And now I'm doing like urban fantasy mixed like with Men in Black, I would say, and I just have really cool things like that. And my friend's like, "You should do a Sasquatch like Charli and J.F. Holmes," and I'm like, the character hasn't come to me yet, but now I want to because as soon as your cover dropped, I was like, "Oh, I have to do that." My friend literally messaged me because we were talking about it. He's like, "Hey, like this might be a thing that a train you need to get on." So he's like, "This looks awesome." So that's really cool to hear that story. I'm actually gonna have to text him later today because we both had that question. So that's super cool. No, I have to ask. Sorry, Charli. Have you seen Bigfoot in the Pacific Northwest?
I have not met one yet. They have not revealed themselves to me. For some reason, I'm not worthy or I haven't been in the right spot. But one of these days,
Yeah.
I'm out in the woods all the time. We love to go
Yeah.
hiking and look at waterfalls, and we spend all of our time in the woods when it's not snowing and when it's not fire season. So one of these days, I'm sure I'll meet one. I just haven't yet.
That's awesome.